Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm back out in the garden again for this second sort of part of the Verdant 10-year anniversary beer drop. My second rodeo was the first one. I have talked about that and I get the feeling that beer is going to taste different every time I have it. I've got 6 cans of that and I've only had one of them. However, this one I'm going to talk to you about tonight. This is the third one I've had. Now, one of the things I want to just start off with is I watched a video today that Paul and Michelle did at Rate My Beer around talking about 2 beers. Go and check it out. It was the Stella and I can't think what the other one, but I can't think what it was, but just go and check them out. It's the latest video and I'll tag the video in here actually. I'll put the link to the video in here. And it was a really interesting video. And it sort of like lends itself to the start of this little story, really, because I had my second rodeo, and then afterwards I thought, right, I'm going to try this. I'm not going to talk about it because I want to drink this completely blind. You know, my mouth's not had anything other than just water. You know what I mean? Because I know that when you sort of mix beers, they can sort of take on a different taste. So I knew that drinking this after having my second rodeo was going to bring on probably the wrong flavors from this beer, because my mouth was obviously laden with that high hopped and high percentage sort of beer, even though this is coming in at 6.5, I believe. So anyway, when I had it, it literally took my breath. It took me by surprise so much, because there's been a bit of talk these days about the New England IPAs being just fairly samey. And I'm loving like the West Coast and you know the more powerfully hopped and more sort of bittery type of tasting beers. That something that they do have a little bit of a changing taste to them. But this one literally was completely out there, completely different, completely on its own for me. And anyway, I noticed, well, what I did, I seen what hops were in here. So you got, is it Montica, Nelson Sauvin, Raiwaka, I'm terrible at saying it, Raiwaka, there it is, look, Raiwaka, Monteca, Nelson Sauvin, and they're both on the hot and cold side. So I messaged Verdant, and this is what I put, because when I sort of tasted it, I sort of like was really getting what I thought was the most power from the Nelson Sauvin hops. Technically, I'm for saying all these wrong. I practice them. I ask Alexa how to pronounce them and everything, and then it just goes out my mind. But you know, it's not a blooming lesson how to say things. There it is. I've just shown you that. But I learned a lot about these hops. Obviously, as this is a New Zealand IPA, it's all New Zealand hops in here. And basically, I'm going to pour it out whilst I talk to you. So basically, it hit me like a ton of bricks that when me and my wife, we go out, and there's a Pacific pub in Leicester that we go to if we go to Montfort Hall or whatever. And they always have really nice wine, and it tends to be New Zealand wine, like white wine. I'm not a white wine drinker at all, but when we go there, Janie will say to me, "That's a really lovely wine. That tastes like a New Zealand wine," and I've had a taste of it. Really fresh, fruity, but also can be quite powerful as well. White wine to me, oh look at that, that's looking good. And it's beautiful. I like how when you pour the beer into the glass, into this real nice 10 years Verdant Brewery Co. special edition sort of glass, that artwork, that decal there really comes through, doesn't it? Look at that, it really shines through. Before you get the beer in the glass, it's hard to actually see that. It's really distinctive. It's really nice. It's great. I mean, the can designs are brilliant. I mean, I'm just trying to think like my wife calls these beers smelly beer. And I mean, and if you're going to talk about like bending your head around and literally sniffing the wrong person who happens to be your own backside, you can't get more smellier than that, can you? So, well, I don't know. I wash, so mine's fairly clean, you know, most of the time. Probably not after a load of beer. And yeah, but yeah, but it hit me like a ton of bricks. And all I got running through my head all the while was that tastes like a really, well, I messaged Verdant, right? And I actually put, I've got it here. I actually put, hi guys, can I ask you something? This beer has a unique and totally different flavour to any IPA I've ever had. Couldn't even read my own writing. The whole sniffing thing, um, name and label makes it feel like it's going to be big on aroma and flavour. Can I ask, have you made the Nelson Sauvin hops, the front of house, a real punch from the saturation of that winey hop that's giving that smelly, powerful, dank, overripe, bitter wine taste? That's really how it hit me. It's remarkable and like nothing I've ever had. So they replied to me, bless them. I love it when breweries reply. And Verdant are great, and so Thornbridge. Morning, yes, it's full with New Zealand hops. Raiwaka, Montiega. Here it is. There's the message. I snapshotted it, right? Both on the hot and the cold side. That's coming from the brewery saying yes, almost like, yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. However, when I had one later on in the evening, I loved it so much. I'd had a few other beers and I had one later on in the evening. It obviously didn't hit me quite as much. So I think having that really fresh, my second rodeo, was really fresh sort of taste, really powerful in the hops, but more like a nice orange zing side. You know, if you want to, please go and watch my video. Then coming to this, it really hit me hard. So this is actually the first time I'm having one without having any other beer, and so I want to see how it tastes. So this going back to Michelle and Paul and Michelle Rate My Beer. They were saying about these two beers that everybody said are the same, Stella and another beer. I've never heard of it before and I can't quite remember, but I'll put the video in here. So interesting because it really shows how much they know their stuff. And they were saying that, like, you know, one did have a little slight different taste, a bit more bready, a bit more malty, but then as you drank the two sort of together, they sort of blended because, you know, when you're drinking two beers together, your taste buds start to blend, and it's really poignant to this video for me, that how this tasted when I'd had already had the beer to how this is probably going to taste now. So a really danky, smelly, it is a smelly beer, which I love. When I get these beers, I think, oh, because if you've got all them fresh hops in there and you've really got everything out of the hops, you do get that really overripeness about the smell. And it's nothing, I could give this to someone to smell and they'd smell it and they'd probably go, oh, it smells off. It smells off. But I think it's because people don't understand. People who say that don't understand how when you really, really like get them hops going and you really saturate all them flavors out and you really sort of mash them and you really make them come through, that's what you get. You don't get a taste of like just fresh pineapple and fresh orange or whatever. You get that from like additives and things or cordials, that sort of stuff. This, you get what the hop's going to give you. So that's giving a really, really overripe, danky, citrusy, really, but smelly, but fresh, if you know what I mean. So I've wrote a few like notes here. So all of these hops, right? So the Nelson Sauvin hop, aroma, flavor profile, hop, grape-like flavor to beers, defined as a cold climate, white wine grape flavor, fruitiness, passion fruit, fresh crushed gooseberries, right? Then you got the Raiwaka, extreme citrus notes, which it really extreme in the notes, yeah, which is great for hoppy beers, adding aromas of passion fruit, grapefruit, lemon and tropical fruits. A real standout, and the powerful grapefruit citrusy character is often described as breathtaking. It's a really powerful hop, and I think it's part of the SARS family. So as a variety with SARS, and it says considered a quintessential Kiwi hop that imparts, right, as a variety with SARS, it's a quintessential Kiwi hop that imparts beer with a pleasant combination of citrus and sweet, along with hints of herbal note-like characters. So yeah, so this Rye Walker hop, however you say it, is a variety of the SARS hop. So SARS is going to give sort of like that herbally type of spiciness. So SARS has a distinctive flavour when used in beers. The resulting aroma is a very mild, earthy, herbal and spicy. Low alpha acids, but it's used in Bohemian style lagers and pilsners. But the thing is, with all these hops, they're all giving like big old flavors. Like the Montieca hop has a Pacific aroma, fresh crushed citrus, mojito lime character, lively lemon and lime notes with background hints of tropical fruit, herbal notes, basil, rosemary. So anyway, Spano waffling on and trying to pronounce all these things. What I'm trying to say is all these hops all together are giving a massive amount of like just fruity flavors, herbal, spiciness, just real. And if you just imagine a big bowl of fruit and they're all sort of like just fermenting there on their own and giving that sort of like dank fruit. It's a really exciting beer and I'm about to get into it. So cheers everybody. Oh, I'll tell you what, I think this is going to be my beer of the year. It's so different to what. Yeah, I mean, even though I had this straight after that, my second rodeo, it's still giving me that same real hit of dank, overripe, real bittery, winey, really crashing, full of flavour, and it has that real. Oh, it really hits you at the back of the throat. It's so crushable. I could literally. Oh, honestly, this really is a wow beer. This is. I'd love to know where the sniffing the wrong people come from. I just think what it is, and I keep saying this, Verdant, they're specialist in hop saturation. They are absolute geniuses when it comes to picking out the right hops to blend together, to put them in at the right time. Like you say, these are gone in at the hot side and the cold side. Now, apparently that I think that Rucker, oh geez, that Rye Waka hop has twice the oils in of SARS. So whether or not that's like, because SARS isn't really like a high in alpha acids as it said, but you've got sort of like a bit of a bitterness, but it's a fruity bitterness. The mouthfeel is really nice as well. It's got a beautiful, natural, lovely, real beautiful feeling to the carbonation in that beer. I can't wait to see other people review this. I'll always review a beer myself and talk about it because I'm no expert. But I'll do it and then I'll search and see what other people have thought, because it is subjective and we all have different flavors. There's so much to be given out of this beer. There's so many flavors in this beer from all these different hops, and they're all giving just massive amount to the table. You know, it's almost like having a steak and having every single possible sauce that you could possibly have on it, mixing it all together, and then they're just all there in your face and you can't pick anything right out there. But I can get like that. I often, with grapefruit, get the bitterness at the back of my tongue. So right at the very back of the tongue, it just hits you at the side of the tongue. That's where, if I get that, what I'm getting here, that's when I'm getting that grapefruity type of taste. There is an orangey, zesty orangeness to it as well. I probably didn't pick that out first because I'd already had my second rodeo, which is very orangey and zesty. Oh, this is, I wish it weren't blown around. I wish I could stand it, but I've come out in the garden because I had quite a good feedback from Slurpy Dave for saying I liked the view, the garden view. You could see the barrel bar that I'm very proud of. I've got Airland radio in the background there, so I've turned that down. And yeah, I've even got the Spencer arm sign flashing up there. Like, I thought I'd turn that on. Why not? It's not sunny. It's a little bit chilly. But yeah, this is absolutely unbelievable. This beer is. Look at it hanging onto the glass as well. This beautiful glass. The dankiness of this is absolutely outrageous. It is so, oh, there's so many flavors in there. Really citrusy, but I don't like citra hops. If I have a citra beer that's used the citra hops, so it is an actual dedicated citra beer, it's not for me. It's just not for me. But when you've got these hops that give all them citrus characters and they give all them citrus flavors, that's the type of citra I like. Where you're not just getting a real like tarty type of citra taste. This is incredible. This. Do you know what? I didn't give the. There's been actually a few videos that I've done where I've looked back on them and thought, oh my god. I didn't sort of say the old Speno 10 out of 10. And I think the reason I didn't say it is because it just didn't. It didn't give me that wow. I mean, I knew that my second rodeo probably deserved a 10 out of 10. But I sort of expected it to be what it was. It was just a little bit different. It's like the putty was the first one. And I made the mistake saying about Hop City being somewhere in America. I'm sure it's the one in Leeds. So apologies, Verdant, for that. But yeah, my second rodeo, absolutely awesome beer. You know, it's a clear sort of like 9, 10 out of 10, easy. You know, it is what it is. It's the second rodeo to like the first one, which was putty, which is absolutely awesome. Different mouthfeel, much more oaty, much more like smooth and full bodied and that. But yeah, so it sort of didn't wow me like this is, because I expected that to be big and massive and full of hop smash and it didn't disappoint, you know, but I didn't expect this to be like this. Coming in at 6.5%, it's really easy to drink. It's so refreshing. I think my fridge is around about 2.5 degrees, 3 degrees at the minute, depending on how the day goes, really. But I think you could drink this absolutely ice cold and it would be like just so refreshing. And the flavors, there's too many flavors in there to really pick them all out. I just get real citrusy, fresh, fruity, and the dankness sort of like starts to just calm down a little bit, and the fruit comes through. You got everything. You got pineapple, grapefruit. There's orange. There's lemon. There's kiwi fruit in there. I mean, every day I have strawberries and kiwi. I love kiwi fruit. It's really nice, and I can get all that in that beer. There's so many flavors in that beer, but it's so well blended together that, like, you know, you're not the one thing, but it stinks. It absolutely stinks. If my wife was sat here now, she'd be going, oh god, and she will not kiss me after I've had one of these beers. So she's not here tonight. She's actually gone to see some friends. So by the time she gets back, I'll be watching the football, and I'll be 3 or 4 beers, probably 5 beers in actually, and yeah, so I'll be tired and not really, you know, I'll probably have a kiss, and she'll probably go like, "Oh, you've been drinking that stinky beer, ain't you?" Whereas if we're drinking a stout, she's all over that. Anyway, that's a little bit too much information, but yeah, sniffing the wrong people, absolutely banging. What a fantastic! I think this is my beer of the year. I think it is. Yeah, it is. You know, so far 2024, this is absolutely my beer of the year. I think this is still available on the website. Like I say, when I said about my second rodeo, it was sold out. When I looked on the website, it was sold out. But you'll still probably find it in bottle shops. Look out for that, because I know that my local bottle shop has said to me, I've got some coming in, but I'd already ordered it from Verdant because I thought I want it now. But yes, I seen this was still available, so I suggest you go and get some of this if you like really nicely overripe, danky, but fresh as well. Like, I'm not saying it's just all overripe, danky fruit. There's so much freshness in there as well, all balancing together. It's almost like sort of 4 or 5 beers in one. It's absolutely remarkable, and I could literally go on and on and on and on about this forever, but I'm not, because you know, you're probably bored already. But anyway, take good care of yourself. Go get this beer. Thank you, Verdant, for an absolutely awesome beer drop. Happy 10-year anniversary, whenever that may be. I'm not 100% sure what it actually is. Yeah, just have an absolutely lovely evening or lovely weekend, or whenever you're watching this, whatever you're doing. And please live, laugh, and love. Take care of yourself. Be safe. The birds are going mad. I thought my neighbour was in the shed, but I think the birds are probably being attacked by something. Don't know. There you go. These are all the dramas that you get in the Spencer Arms Beer Garden. Take care, everybody. Be good. Much love, Speno. Oh, Speno 10 out of 10, by the way. I think I said that anyway. She's an absolute Speno 10 out of 10. Boom.